It's not what you're capable of. It's what you're willing to do. Everybody hear me?
Belief in your own dignity, your own worth, and your own somebodyness.
But I know I'm not going to stop putting one foot in front of the other every single day. And I encourage you to do the same.
Will is a powerful thing. Ask yourself, what are you willing to do?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Culture Church. Happy New Year, and with me, as always, are my colleagues Adam Holland and Denari Beard. How were your guys' New Year's?
It was fun. It was definitely fun. I went to New York with my girl, and her friends, so it was pretty fun, honestly. So, how was yours, Adam?
I had a great New Year, and Happy New Year to everybody out there. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to everybody that liked, subscribed, tweeted, subscribed, comment, whatever it was. I really appreciate y'all doing that for episode 6 with Quincy Bright. We really had a great time filming that, and I know we have another one popping for you guys right now. But back to the New Year's question, I definitely had a good time. Was able to kind of get away, have some time enjoying my friends and my family. Spent a good amount of it in Arizona. And that was an exceptional time. I was able to, see some great scenery, be around a lot of my close friends, kind of just taking a minute to just take a step back from everything. And glad to be back and work and, get ready to rock for 2024. How about you, Chooch?
Absolutely. I mean, as you know, better than anybody, I was out there in Arizona with you. I mean, I love it out there. It's a great time. Being able to throw outside definitely was a nice refresher. It's tough being inside during the winter, throwing into a net 100 times a day. I'll say that. That was beautiful. And I love it out there. I think just like the fact that we're out there in December starting the new year and it's 60 and sunny out. That was definitely a beautiful thing, and definitely enjoyed myself. But glad we're back here. And I know, Adam, you want to introduce our new guest?
I definitely do. Hailing all the way from New Jersey, we have the esteemed pleasure of bringing on somebody who is one of the most top of their game, what they do. Somebody that I've known for a good amount of years. Honestly, we actually grew up together in the same church, in the same development. And I'm happy to have Brandon Medley.
Yeah. Hey. So nice to be here, guys, and it really is a pleasure. And I'm really, really lucky, and I'm honored that you guys invited me onto your podcast. And I think we're gonna have a great conversation.
Let's get through it, man.
Let's get it there.
And the first time we met was back at the Sixers game when you brought us down, and so we to go back a little bit, if you don't mind, how we connected, how you and Adam connected, just give us a little background on you.
Yeah, man. Like Adam said, we kind of grew up together, and I've always been in food, always been a big sports guy. Grew up my entire life, kind of idolizing the folks around me that were in food, whether that be my godmom who had a cake business, or my grandfather who actually passed, who was kind of one of the local chefs, in the Camden area, right? And just kind of wrote it out. Did a little TV, went to high school, kind of used high school as a way to gauge whether or not, I was going to keep doing this, and ended up where I am now.
And where you're at right now, some of the viewers still may not know. Yeah. Where are you at right now, actually?
I'm the sous chef of the Sixers, which is pretty crazy.
Come on now.
Say it for the one time again. Say it for the people for the one time again.
Sous chef of the Sixers. So I got this role about a year ago. I've been with them for 3 years, and just have worked my way up there with title changes and different things to finally get to the point where I'm ready for this step, right. and I'm in a position with far more responsibility, and it's good.
That's dope, bro.
That's
and
awesome,
I'm really glad that, obviously, your busy schedule, taking your time out to get here with us.
Yeah,
I know, obviously, in the swing of the season, NBA season is jumping right now. A lot of teams are playing well, but, being able to have somebody that is a big, component to the success of the Sixers with us right now is truly amazing. And, I'm definitely, like I said, glad to have you out. And I know we're, very blessed to have you here as well, man. So it's great. But speaking of the NBA season, what teams are we looking at right now, though?
Us, hometown guys, we always root for the Sixers.
Absolutely.
When it comes to other teams and stuff like that, honestly, the one thing I love about basketball is that if you root for a player, it's really easy to root for that team too, because impact players have such a large like impact on like the game that they're playing, obviously. And so I mean, you know us, we love LeBron James. Shout out the king, and if he ever sees this, I hope he does one day. But I mean, guys like that. I mean, I unfortunately Ja Morant went down again. I love watching him play, and then Anthony Edwards as well. I love Anthony. But who you got, DB?
For teams wise, besides the Sixers, because you know we're big Sixers fans, but for teams wise, I think I've been watching a lot of East Coast games. So I think the first one is the Pacers. Okay. I think I watched them a lot in the in-season tournament. That's what really piqued my interest, and then just watching Halliburton play alone is just, and then how he gets his whole team involved, and you know, just like then how they feed off his energy, and like his efficiency of this passing and scoring is just out of the world. Like, and his turnover ratio is literally nothing. It's like something numb. Like, it's literally something nothing. It's like point something for real. So that's probably my favorite young team to really watch. And then I think the second one might be the Timberwolves as well too. I love Anthony Edwards. That dude is. Even watching him at Georgia, like. That dude is insane. So
he does it all, man.
I think
he's
that
hysterical
is,
too.
He's
so funny.
I know he can play every sport apparently, so every sport he can play. So I think that one, and I'm not gonna lie, I might get a little hate from this, but the Knicks been hooping recently. With this recent trade, I'm not gonna lie, the Knicks been hooping, and with that, I think this was a trade in their favor, in all opinion, because of OG being on their team and give them their ability to add a wing that can also be efficient to score on the offensive side and not also be a liability on the defensive side as well too. So, you know, I think I'm really interested to see how they really go in the second half of the season, because OG really turned their team around a lot. It relieves a lot of the pressure off of Jalen Brunson as well too. So, the Knicks,
Nova Nation too. Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, shout out to Nova Nation as well too.
The Nova Knicks.
Yeah,
I love it though. I love it. It makes a lot of sense.
What you got?
Yeah.
Who? I mean, I'm a Sixers guy.
Yeah.
I've always been. I love where we are. This in my 3 seasons there. This is easily my favorite team. We just seem the most locked in. I love our depth this year, and I love how much not only our guys but our entire staff as a whole, from equipment to our medical staff to our culinary team, to the masseuses and all, how much we truly care, and how much we are putting to winning, like to where the building's got expect to win. Right. We're all wearing our expect to win bracelets. It doesn't match my fit today. It's gotten to the point in our building, in our basketball ops building, where it is truly a cultural thing.
Yeah,
like
awesome.
Winning is our top priority, and there's nothing else that matters, no matter what your role is. But this team is great, dude, and they're all there to support each other and push each other. Like you guys see Pat Bev, telling guys, like you got to go after it tonight. He told Joel on his spot, like you have to. I mean, he told Maxie, Maxie's talking about it. You have to go get it. Joel's not playing tonight. You have to go get it. And if you don't, that's on you, because we need you. And Tyrese is at the point now where he's an all-star guy, and he's going to continue to climb because he's just so focused and works so hard. Yeah. Same thing with guys like P. Reed. I would go to the gym in the summertime, like the practice facility, just to shoot shots and hoop, just to get out of the house, right, sometimes. Right. And I'll go and Paul Reed's in there, with somebody catching rebounds in the middle of the summer in Philly. Dude's from Orlando. Grinding. Right. This guy is working. Threes, free throws, and you see it reflecting his game this year. Now, Coach Nick's got him, shooting threes and whatnot when he gets a wide open one, and it's just him expanding his game, becoming a better player. And for me, that's been like one of the players that has been most rewarding to see, because I, along with Paul, it was my first year. It was Paul's first year where he was transitioning from the G to the NBA, and just to see his growth as a professional from afar, but really, really close too. Has been like amazing and so inspiring, and so I love this team. I think this might be our year. I think this is our year.
Hey man, you heard it first.
Let's go.
Heard it here first. Come on, man.
Yeah, man.
Come on, I love that. I love that.
Yo, shout out to B-Ball Paul too.
Shout out to B-Ball Paul.
B-Ball Paul. That honestly was my next point, like the vibe of the building. I was going to ask about, you know, every year we feel like we get so close. You know, we have guys that, you know, we have the parts, we have the superstar, we have the star, you know, we have the defensive mindset, we have the guys that the glue guys. But I'm really glad you touched on that, because I'm like, bro, that's something real. Everybody in the building should feel that same way, same mentality, one goal. And I'm glad you're able to share that with us, bro. Truly.
100%. And like, all of us have like played sports too, so you know, like the morale, the locker room mentality, like the family, like the idea of like how close all of you are for such an extended period of time.
Yeah,
it plays such a large role that people don't see, because like a lot of times you'll see like sometimes teams will get hot in the playoffs. We talked about it back when like the baseball playoffs were going on, and you see like that family-oriented team come out and play with that passion, and sometimes it overrides whether like the talent on the other side may seem better or not. So that's great to hear that we're in a good state, because who knows, if we get hot, anything could happen. Anything could happen.
Man.
Facts. And so, you know, let's switch gears a little bit. You said you went to culinary school, and obviously, you know, you said you're a chef right now, but, you know, what made you pursue that? What person, what thing in your life, what, you know, may have happened that you were like, you know what, I want to do that. Who was that for you?
Well, like I said, my godmother was like my primary babysitter growing up, right? So if I wasn't at school, or I wasn't with, you know, if I wasn't home with the family, I was with her, and she was the cake decorator. She was always in the kitchen. She always had great food around. And I just kind of was hanging in the kitchen and realized, like, I kind of got a little knack for this. I mean, this is like elementary school Brandon. And then she started putting me in like church cook-offs and stuff. So I'm like a kid.
Boy, how old are you when
at this
this
point
is going on?
I'm in the 5th grade. So how old are you in the 5th grade?
10,
11. Yeah. So I'm like 10, 11, and I'm doing like church cook-offs and stuff like that, and I'm with like adults, and I'm just like showcasing my talent, coming up with these creative recipes to show people, and people genuinely like it. Like, I realize that they're not just like BSing, saying, "Oh, this is amazing," because I'm a cute 10-year-old kid. No, they like this because the food is great. And I just kept going with it, man. And just kept like at home using my inspiration from TV, because this was a time, I was actually just talking to a coworker about this. This was a time when chefs on TV were like really doing instructional stuff. Like, you could watch Giada on TV. You could watch Ray Trey on TV. You could watch Bobby on TV and truly learn great technique, skill, and new ingredients, right? And ways of moving in the kitchen and doing things. And I would kind of take a lot of that and do it at home. And until I got to the point where I was in high school and I could go for every single day. Imagine every day in high school for 2 hours you cooked. And it was interesting. What I think the greatest thing that happened to me is my freshman year going into school, they switched it to where you weren't just culinary baking, you were both. You had to learn both. So regardless if you came here to learn how to cook or you came here to learn how to bake, whatever you want to be, a pastry artist, restaurant owner, you know, an executive chef, you had to learn both. So I spent 2 hours every single day in high school learning new technique, new skills, making mistakes, learning teamwork, and learning what and what not to do. And that was awesome for me. And you know, it was a very rewarding experience that prepared me to go to the best culinary school in the world, which was crazy because like I set my goal on going there probably midway through high school. I'd say my summer going to junior year, I was like, I'm going to make it. I'm going to go to CIA. I'm going to be a CIA grad. Like I knew for the heights I wanted to reach in this industry, it would take me becoming a part of an alumni group like that. And yeah, bro, that's kind of how.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. That's crazy, man.
If you don't mind me hopping in real quick, I want to know. So obviously you had a knack for it when you were younger, kind of grew into it. Like that's how some of our passions like will come around. What is it about cooking? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. When I cook for more than an hour, I get really tired of it. Yeah. So tell me, what aspects of it like do you love?
I've realized over time that I love the science, and I love development as a whole, right? So even to this day, making a recipe one time, getting an end result, figuring out, okay, my end result out of 10 is a 6. How do I get it to a 10? Wow. You know what I mean? How do I correct my mistakes? And how do I do things more efficiently and execute at a higher level, right? Is it a different technique? Is it buying different ingredients? Is it what ways do I approach this task to be able to do this faster, and more efficiently, like I said, and also end with a better result. And then I think to answer that question, another way is also just pleasing other people, right? And showing them new things that they've never seen, and helping them explore new flavors. I think that's one of the things we do really well at the practice facility. You know, if we've got, you know, a week where we've got one game, right? That means we're at the facility for 4 days, and then we'll spend a day at Wells. Monday, you might have Italian food, and I mean the most authentic Italian food you've ever had. And then Tuesday, you're coming in, and we have a Korean spread. So these people, right?
I told DB before this, I was like, yo, we're gonna get really hungry.
Yeah. So Tuesday, you're coming in. You know, Monday, you're a veterinary, right? Mind you, we're at the facility. We're at the 6 practice facility. You're a veterinary. You're eating some of the most delicious Italian food. Then Tuesday, you turn around and you're at Momofuku eating amazing Korean food, and we're getting our recipes, you know, our well-sourced recipes from all these different restaurants and these chefs and their books and whatnot. So that it's pretty cool, dude. You know, but but going back to my point, kind of showing our staff, our coaches, our players, all this new cuisine and these new techniques is really, really cool, because although they're well-traveled, there's so much that they don't know about the world of food. So much that we don't know, right?
That's tough. That's tough. What do you think, you know, like, I think for me, like in society today, you know, people as a male chef, people like frown upon it sometimes because, you know, as us as males, we wasn't really taught to really be in that role as a male chef. You know, that wasn't really our job, right? That's how we was raised, right? In some areas, in some households, right? So like, how do you talk a little bit about like the trials and tribulations of being a male chef and like navigating a little bit through that process as well, leading up to where you are now? I
mean, I've never ever, especially certainly not recently, had anyone like clown what I do, or like have any kind of snarky comment. Certainly not to my face. And I guarantee you, you know, if you think cooking's not cool, you know, I could have your girl over my place. I could cook her. I could slide in her DM. Have your girl at my place. Cook her a hell of a meal, and she won't ever be knocking at your door again. And to add another piece to that, I can make a call. I can take her to the best restaurants in this city or another city, and we'll have a hell of a time. You know, so it's like I've only had recently, as so many people are getting into food, and so many people want to try restaurants. Like if you go on TikTok and Instagram, that's what everybody posts. They're posting them out to eat. I've only had folks just be excited about it and think it's cool. And then when you take this into consideration, that where I'm cooking and who I'm cooking for, it just makes it that much cooler and interesting to people. But I haven't really had to deal with too much of people, you know, kind of clowning me or you know, saying really bad things. People have been really excited to hear about what I do and what I'm interested in when it comes to food.
Bro, I mean, that's a dope experience, and I think the biggest part, like you said, bro, is that no one's really clowned you or kind of like making fun of you, stuff like that. Where it's like you said, given today's society in the last over the 10, 15 years, you tell somebody you want to cook, they might laugh at you. Right? At the end of the day, you show up like, I mean, like you said, you're cool who you are, you're cool what you got, you're cool in your own skin, and I think that's the biggest thing going forward about whatever you do in your passion, right? People are going to laugh at your passion sometimes. They're going to laugh at your passion or your profession or, you know, what you love to do. At the end of the day, as long as you're comfortable, as long as you're set and content in your ways, bro, sky's the limit. And at the end of the day, bro, you can walk up to anybody, like you said, walk up to anybody's girl, walk up to anybody and be like, I bet you my job's probably better than yours. I bet you I probably make more money.
I bet you my lifestyle and what I get to see and what I get to do and the people I'm around and the shoulders that I'm bumping into on a daily basis are many of those that you would love to be with, you know? But that's a part of like finding your lane. You know what I mean? Like I play sports, but I knew, but at the end of the day, like I believe that like God and the universe were destined. My job and my role to contribute to a championships was through food. It wasn't through basketball. It's not through media. It's not through coaching. It was through food, you know, and providing a one of a kind experience for our players and coaches in our organization. And when we get there, you know, this year when we have our championship, I think to any naysayers, that's going to be a hell of a response. Wow, how amazing is it that through food, I was able to be a very small part of something so great.
Something great.
That's beautiful, man. And I got to know, because like coming from our organization in the Red Sox, like they put a lot of thought into making sure our food is nutritious, especially on the minor leagues, because we have a lot of young kids growing up to be adults. So how much does that play a role into the food that you make for the players?
Yeah. Well, we look at it two-sided, right? We want to make nutritious food, and we want these guys to be well prepared and well nourished as they approach their everyday lives, practice, and games, right? But you also have to remember a lot of their backgrounds and where they're coming from, what they've been exposed to, and that most of them are, no older than 28 and under. We've got a few players that are older. So, Monday, although all of our spreads are healthy, we might have a dope pizza day where we're having wood-fired pizza. We might have, it happens maybe once or twice a year, fried chicken day, where we've got that, that buttermilk, marinated chicken, we're frying chicken, and they've got collards and mac, which they're used to, and sweet potatoes and whatnot. And there are days like yesterday where we have a super healthy spread and we put out a plate of cookies and they go in 2 seconds, right? So I think where a lot of people get it wrong with athletes is like they push nutrition so much on players that they're like, the food doesn't taste like anything and I don't like it. Instead of meeting them in the middle and be like, hey, you're gonna have a salad here, maybe some grains here, and super nutrient dense plates. But for dinner tonight, let's have a dope taco night, and maybe it ends with a churro. Because it's at the end of the world when you're talking about world-class athletes that are freaks anyway. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'd rather them eat with me and not hate me and love my food than leave the practice facility and go eat at McDonald's. Right. Even if I am serving fried chicken. Right. Think about it.
No, that's deep. Yeah, that's deep.
Because my chickens are locally sourced.
No, that's deep.
and my chickens are the best chickens around. They're eating the best food. They're eating better than most people.
Right.
Wow, so.
Yeah, Ocho Cinco would love him, bro.
Ocho would love me. But Ocho's a freak.
He's a freak.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to realize most pro athletes, like even you, you know what I mean? And you too. Like, you guys are like, most athletes that have played at a high level, they're the way their body is composed is just different. Yeah, man. They can eat KFC and go drop 40. Do we prefer that? No. But they are freaks of nature. Right. It just is what it is. Most times, not all the time, but most times.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean I can't lie. There's sometimes where I'll get back from the field after a game and. Like, dude, whatever they gave us after the game is not enough, and I'll order some Papa John's and eat an entire pizza, dog.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
No, but I think what you said was the biggest misconception I think a lot of young athletes think is they need to eat healthy all the time, 24/7. So I think the audience, especially the young athletes listening to this, need to really pay attention to find that happy medium.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the young athletes that I deal with, sometimes they're so strict on their diet that affects them mentally even more. Sometimes I see that play a part even more. So so that's why I think it's interesting to hear that it's always a happy medium, whatever we do. But especially with your nutrition and diet, it's good to hear that you have the happy medium
and diversify your diet. And that takes you becoming a diverse eater. And if you're at the college or pro level, you need to have chefs with deep bags. You can't have guys that are always making the same thing. And like I said, you need to be able on a Monday to come up and have an entire spread of Italian cuisine, beautiful pastas, nice salads, you know what I mean, caprese, all of that, right? Nice cheese plates. And then Tuesday come in and they be, maybe we're in Japan and we're doing ramen. Ramen is not inherently unhealthy. A dope bowl of ramen, after practice. But it's a switch for the athlete where he doesn't even realize how great he's eating. Because things are changed so much, and it's not always cold sliced chicken breast. That a lot of these organizations think is okay.
That grilled chicken.
Yeah,
that cold grilled chicken.
That's great, bro. That's really. Like I said, I wish I could definitely be, a professional athlete and have the opportunity to be. I can do McDonald's one day, and I can do, obviously a grilled chicken, salmon, or Caesar salad, something like that. So, that's really dope, bro. But one thing I definitely was always interested about, and I was talking to them about, because I always say, DB and Chucho are our business models, they're our business guys in a way. But they were asking me about it. But tell us a little about. I heard you're an entrepreneur. Obviously, you run your own business. Tell us a little about what you do.
Well, True CMOS started as my friend's brand during COVID. Okay. So my best friend True.
Shout out True, man.
Shout out True.
That's my guy.
That's my left hand. You gotta have a left hand, man. That's my guy. And he during COVID he started the CMOS brand where he was actually delivering out of the house. And we kind of said, about 2 summers ago, we said, no, we need to make this a product where people can actually ingest it and it's something that they enjoy. So we use cold pressed juice and coconut water as an avenue to do that. And we put the sea moss in a drink. And then I told him, I said, we're not doing drop-offs in anybody's crib. It ain't, call Brandon and True and see if we can get our drinks. Like these are platters. This ain't that. You need to go to stores. So we bet on ourselves and we put them in 5 different nutrition stores. And we said, we'll front you the product. So there's no risk on your end. We're going to give you these bottles. And, we give you 20 bottles. We take, X amount of this $8 that we're selling the bottle for. And you take X amount at the end of the week. Anything you don't sell is our loss. Got in a few stores, and it's kind of taken off. And we're at the point now where we're pivoting, where we're trying to figure out manufacturing and things like that. And then, so that's great, and we're still kind of figuring out how we want to market that and what we want to do with that. I knew when we started that was going to be a long journey. It is very difficult to get products to market. I have experience in R&D at McCormick as an intern, and then at Taste Point at some time doing flavor manufacturing, working on flavors for like Chick-fil-A and McDonald's and Dannon yogurt. And it takes a while to develop these products and to really figure out what your target audience is. My other business, which I had a really good year with, was like my catering, personal chefing, meal prepping, and I'm trying to add like sort of like events and events and vibes.
Events and vibes.
Having
like
events
that.
for the elite young people in this area that are truly doing things, that are truly on things. But to get back to the catering and private chefing, this year I was blessed to do work for a Premier League soccer player who's actually coming back into town next week that I'm going to be helping rehab and do all of his, meal prep and whatnot while he's in town. Did a bunch of really cool parties last year. And in the years past, that was kind of how I started working with the Sixers, doing private chef and meal prep for NBA players and executives. So influence is kind of been my thing. And I named it influence because it kind of goes back to like being like sort of the first of my kind in this area from a young age, saying I'm going to be a chef and kind of doing it in the coolest, dopest way possible and influencing the next generation of what life could be as a chef. And even if you don't, what life could be as someone that understands food, understands cuisine, and cares to really live life through food. And it's been great. So I'll continue to build influence in the brand and along with myself and my brand.
That's awesome, dude. That's so dope.
That's dope. Just I want to say congratulations from both your businesses, for all of us. Like that's dope to hear. Like it takes a lot to start a business, and I don't think a lot of people know. And it takes even more to start a private chef business as well too. Yeah. So I just want to say congratulations to you though. But I got some real questions coming on now. So I'm like the neighborhood cook, right? So basically they call me neighborhood cook, basically, right? And I'm just trying to figure out like, not for me, but for the people who don't know like any seasons or anything, like what's some like spices or anything that they should the base, the ground level basis for
stuff
people
you should have in your bag.
Like you should, like you go in your pantry, you like I got this already. Like let people know like what should they have, because some people don't have no seasoning. Like it tells you the food, bro. Like
I'll answer this in a few parts. I'll start here. First off, you need quality ingredients. So folks have got to stop buying, commodity meat and cheap vegetables. Change up your bag. Start going to Wegmans. Right. How about you do that? We call me and True. We have the grown damn man training. Right. Start going to Wegmans. And go to a nice grocery store. Right. Explore the grocery store. Get a feel for the store and the ingredients that they have. I think this. So quality of ingredients would be one. Two. Diversify your cuisines, right? So have a basic understanding of the flavor profiles of Italian cuisine, of different Mediterranean cuisine, of Asian cuisines like Thai and Japan, like Japanese and Chinese, right? This all sounds so foreign and crazy, but in reality, it's really not. Right. It's really not. Right. It's really about just putting in the time. And at this point, with technology, you can get some of this information in seconds. Yeah. I would say the third part, and I'll say third part. I'll answer your question directly as to what you should have. Right. Have a block of Parmesan in your fridge, the finest block of aged Parmesan, and have a microplane. So when you cook dinner for old girl, you can finish that pasta with some nice aged Parmesan, and have 2 oils in your crib.
Yeah, y'all remember taking notes. Y'all remember taking notes.
Take notes. Yeah. You don't need no olive oil. A nice bottle of olive oil. Have it in your crib. Have it in either in the bottle it came in or in a little squirt bottle. I have mine in. And neutral oil. Have that. Salt and a pepper grinder. You don't even need to go out and buy a grinder. Go to Wegmans, get the McCormick grinder, and grind it. Right?
It don't cost that much.
And then,
too.
Yeah, And then when it comes to like marinades and whatnot and sauces, I keep mumbo sauce in my fridge all the time. You can buy Brandon mumbo sauce from DC. And you can literally make shrimp skewers and little cast iron pan with mumbo sauce. Also, you should have a cast iron pan in your crib.
No, that's important. Yeah, that's important.
Let's see, 2 more things I'll say. What do I keep around? What do I keep around?
I'm definitely getting a good dinner tonight.
I keep jerk marinade for proteins. And then I use this stuff, I actually learned about this. It's the Ethiopian spice called Berber spice blend. It's like West African sort of.
Okay.
And you should have that in your house. It's great for like chicken thighs. So you can just rub thighs with them and finish it in your cast iron pan that you should have after this episode. And it's delicious. Great protein that's going to go well with like rice, as you should have a rice cooker too, and veggies.
No, that's dope, bro. I'm definitely gonna call you for that last spice. That last spice got me. Right? I don't know if I ever got that. I need that. Yeah, I need that last spice for sure.
Yeah, bro. You need all that, bro.
I got 2 quick questions. So, let's say you're cooking for someone who has like a very high status, and and they say like, cook me your best meal. What's your best meal? And also, second question would just be, if you were to have like one last meal, or what's your favorite meal that you cook for yourself?
Wow. Ooh.
Okay. Person have had high status and they want my best meal. At the end of the day, you got to realize that you're here to please a client, right? So what I think may be my best meal to them may not be my best meal. So I'm going to ask them, what restaurants do you love to eat at? So now I have an idea of your palate and what cuisines you like the most, and what have you eaten in the past that's delicious. Because I believe that my bag is so deep as a chef and as a creative that I can figure out how to create that meal that you love in the best way possible. So if you tell me, like going back just to Momofuku, you tell me I love Momofuku, I love ramen, that's my spot. Okay, I can come over your house and I can make you the best ramen ever. And we can have the entire broth, whether it be pork or vegetable, or whatever. And then what was the second part of your question?
Second one was, what would your favorite meal?
Oh, my favorite meal that I've cooked myself?
Yes.
Ooh, it's tough.
Don't gotta be one.
We did. Yeah. You know what? I actually showed. I just showed True how to make coconut rice, which was delicious with like kidney beans and curry chicken, and we had some naan bread with that. And I think that's like as of recent, within the last few weeks, that's one of the best meals I made. And we actually made it at the facility. We did like a whole spread for the guys. We kind of did the Island Vibe spread earlier this week. It was like braised oxtails, curry chicken. This is like my 3rd time making it. Us doing this spread. And what happens over time is every time I make something, I get better. Because like I said earlier, I was trying to achieve a 10. The first time I made curry chicken, I'm telling you, it was like a 5. Right. And then it was a 6. And then it creeped up all the way to like a 9, I think, this time. Right. So as of recent at home, I'd say that curry chicken and coconut rice spread was really, really dope. It was a great spread. Bro. And it was so comforting. And especially this time of year, like cold outside, it just is super hearty and delicious.
Yeah, I think one of the sentiments I can take away from that is that, like you said, you're always trying to strive to be greater, right? Striving to be better. You said you started at making one of the meals at a 5.
At a 5.
And now you're, creeping up that ladder. There's a guy that I think we all admire here that kind of has that same mindset for his life, for his lifestyle, for his profession, in whatever he's in. He's in the movies now, he's in the business. He's arguably the greatest basketball player of all time as well.
He is.
And I think, obviously, we're talking about LeBron James. Yeah. He's jumped into this avenue of being on the big screen, dealing in production companies. Obviously, Lobos Tequila, great tequila that we've had multiple times. We've all had that we love.
Come on, bro.
Kid
from
Lobos,
I know he's a part owner of the Red Sox.
He's a part owner. Yeah. So, a guy that has, been able to diversify himself, being able to adapt and assimilate into a culture where it's kind of nonstop and going. Yeah. How do you I wouldn't say model yourself after that, but you've seen how he's able to bring his entourage from 20 plus years. Matt Carter, Rich Paul, Ernie, guys like that. His same friends, same family, big family man, but at the same time still able to adapt on the court, get better and better year after year, being able to find new avenues, new business ventures to kind of seek out. How do you operate on that same schedule in terms of how do you pick your business ventures, your business partners? How do you pick the women you may hang out with, stuff like that? How do you look into that a little deeper?
Well, I'm a value-based guy, right? Which some people may see as a transactional thing. But if you're someone that's always around me as a friend, you need to bring value to my life, whether you make my life easier in ways, whether you're helping me meet new people, whether you're helping me with my businesses and the work that needs to be done with the businesses, or whether you bring good vibes and positivity. I think people take that for granted, and friends too. It's okay to have that friend that their job is literally, when I get off work, I can call this person or we can hang out and it'd be an insane vibe, and it can take me away from what life is and just, relax my mind, my body, and my soul. Yeah. But yeah, value, and then also being around people that have things to lose. If you're constantly hanging around people that have absolutely nothing to lose and no ambition, it's going to be very difficult for you to climb, because you're constantly around folks that are thinking and doing nothing, right? It's okay after a long week of hard work to just take that Friday or Saturday night, like you see me do all the time, and go have a great time. Right. You know what I mean? And
it's all about balance.
And decompress. It's all about balance. But you can't. Every day can't be lit, and you can't always be a bum. You can like
there's bummy days. Yeah, bummy days.
Like dude, like today for me, I just work 9. Like that's how the league is. We get a lot of time off in the summer, but I just work like 9 out of the last 10 days or something crazy like that. You know what I mean? Maybe more. And these are long days, and you're talking with like 4 or 5 game days too, which started like early in the morning, don't end till 10 o'clock at night. You guys know when NBA games end. So today for me was like I'm a bum day. I kind of wake up, I cleaned the crib a little bit, I made myself a really nice breakfast, but I kind of just laid around. I took care of a few little things, but I didn't do much, and that's okay. But you can't have people around you where that is their daily, because it's going to bring out your mentality. You should have a mix of people to where you should have some folks that are just like overachieving, going way too hard, because it's going to push you to be better. You're truly a product of your environment.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Now,
and say for women.
I was waiting. That's why I was waiting. You saw me look at Turbo Head.
I'm gonna come back. For women at this point, can you make my life easier? And I have a lot of female friends who are like genuinely we're friends, and then I have like in dating, and it's really about how well we mesh. And it's sort of like picking friends. How much value are you bringing to me, and how much do we have in common, and how many new things can you show me? Right. It's a lot of. I find that a lot of girls at this point, a lot of young women like to come around me, and they want me to show them everything. They want to explore this life of mine that they think is ever so interesting. But I want to get to know you. Right. You show me some spots. You show me some new things. Right. You put me on some stuff. Those are women that I call my boys. I'm like, yo, she's different. Right. She's different. You know what I mean? Like she's someone that's truly going to help me grow and put me in positions and spaces that could potentially help me change my life. Yeah.
That's a good point too, because like I feel like a lot of men, especially, we kind of grow up on this idea that we need to chase women, we need to like bag the hottest girl and stuff like that, the baddest John, and I think one thing that like I've learned over the years is that how important it is for you guys to push each other to be better in a relationship, especially.
No, definitely. That doesn't even just apply to women, but like with your friends, Right. I think I love what you said about you got to have certain friends for certain things.
Gotta have to.
It's definitely like I think we definitely have a good friend group. A good group that we're definitely pushing each other, man. Like we're always competing against one another, but obviously it's always about support.
Healthy competition is great.
Yeah, not like I'm rooting for your decline or your failure. At the same time, it's like, oh, I see he's right there. Like, man, I got to set myself up real quick. Yeah. I got one of my close friends here right now, Kyle Stinson, taking pictures for us right now.
Shout out to Kyle. Shout out to Kyle.
At the end of the day, he's doing big things in his career, right? He's doing big things. All my friends in my other group chat, they're doing big things in their career, moving in with their girl, getting engaged. Obviously my one boy is a coach for the Chiefs, so we're always trying to, he's doing big things. So it's like always trying to have the people around you that might be maybe a step above you, where it's like, you know what, I can go harder, I can grind harder, I can stay in one night from going out and actually, work on my craft, make sure I wake up the next morning, prepare, and start early in my day and kind of get my grind started before everybody else is up. So,
100%. And when you put a bunch of like competitive people together like that, people, I watched it in this movie. It's called Everybody Wants Some. If you're a baseball player, go watch that movie. But basically, they say when you put a bunch of competitors together, everybody becomes addicted to winning. And that's kind of what it is. It's like, I know DB, we're all in our respective fields. You're in more like a business opportunity. I'm more in like the sports world. Adam, you're doing stuff with Perfect Game. And obviously, you're out here cooking, but all of us, we're trying to aspire to be the best we can be in our own individual fields.
Yeah,
Because of that competition.
I would say too, like, have older friends. I'm 24, right? 25 next month. I have friends that are 40, 45, senior VPs at our company and at other companies that I can call. I can get on a very, very casual phone call with. And we can talk, and I can get advice from them, and maybe they take some things away from me, and I can, they live certain lifestyles that I aspire to have, right? And they kind of show me how to get there. There's nothing wrong with that. Have much older friends. All your friends, like, you got to get to the point where you're going to grow up and you have to say, okay, I'm an adult, point blank period. It's not about me being in my 20s. And you should have friends that are much, much older, where you can go to dinner with that 39-year-old guy that's way over entry level in his career. He's in a senior part of his career, and he can really give you the game. He can really mentor you, but on a casual level, not on like some like super big homie, big homie stuff where you're so uncomfortable talking to him because you look at him as an elder that y'all can't even have real conversation. It's got to be casual. We are friends. I know you've achieved X, Y, and Z because you're double my age, but there's so many things that I can take away from you and you can take away from me. And if you're on your stuff when those people even care to have a conversation with you. So,
that's a great point.
And like, just listen to you and just understanding this, like, a lot of your work and how you brought up how you started your day some days at 4 a.m, and sometimes you don't end at 10 o'clock at night, right? And I don't think people even realize that, like, chef prep work is early before it's really early before anything really starts. It's just like an athlete comes to a game, they'll prep for a game for game day as well too. So like, I just want to figure out, like, how do you even balance? Because just listen to you go 9 out of 10 days working all day at the state facility. How do you balance like that personal life and that work life, and then on top of that, even that business life too? So now you got all three to juggle right now. So, and you're doing it pretty well. So how do you balance it all for like people who want to know?
Planning and preparation. Planning, preparation, and prioritizing tasks, right? 3 Ps. 3 Ps, I guess, right? And staying ahead of the game. Like, I try my best to live like a week ahead. Like, I'm already knowing, right? So next Monday, I'll give you an example. Next Monday, we have Martin Luther King 1 o'clock game against the Rockets, right? I have to leave. I'm gonna wake up that morning probably at like 6:30. Go to the arena. We're gonna do breakfast at the arena, right? Mind you, today's Wednesday. I'm already planning this out. I already know this, and you have to live a week ahead if you really want to do like high level stuff. Gonna leave, go to that game, go through the motions, do pregame, do post, leave the arena, and then I'm gonna go meal prep for my client, drop that off, get that done. Tuesday, go back in and do a practice day at the facility. Like, I already know this is happening. I find that some people like are literally going through the motions in life and to where they can't plan out their lives and really put themselves in a position to succeed because they're kind of living like sort of one day at a time, which is okay at times. But like, how can you ever prepare for anything? It's like when I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking. Like last night when I was making the curry chicken, right? Yeah. My first step is to put the chicken in the pan and then after that is going to come my aromatics. I can't wait until the chicken is almost done to start dicing onions and garlic because the pan's idle at that point. If I want to be fast, I have to have all that stuff already mapped out and done so I can get it done, fast and efficiently. And that's sort of how I approach life. Always kind of thinking 1 or 2 steps ahead. I think that's how I'm able to do so much. I'm not big on calendars and like lists and stuff. At my age, I can sort of do a lot of that in my head. But the help of me and my support system, for me, it's just always thinking ahead and being well prepared.
Yeah, and I think that's a good way to put it because if you want to be high level in anything, I feel like you should already know what your next 2 steps are.
Yeah.
Your next 3 steps are. Right? Like, being a good basketball player, guys that are in the NBA right now, like good point guards. Good point guards know, like, I don't have this pass, I don't have that pass, I have a layup, right?
Yeah.
Good defensive guys know, like, oh, if I have to jump over this screen or I have to, switch this man, I know I got to be in help defense, right?
Yeah.
Like, good athletes, good players, they always know, like, if I don't have that play working for me, how do I pivot to the next one? How do I get to the next one? But they already should know that instead of when it's happening, now you're panicking. I don't know what you're doing. Right. And I think that applies directly to how you should live your life.
You should even try that in your career though too.
Yeah.
Like I it's not always perfect, right? But I already know in 2-3 years like where I'm going to be. I know, like, I have, like, my businesses should be here. My brand should be this big, right? Because I don't think of myself as like a chef. Like like I am a chef, but I think of myself as a brand. What I'm doing at my age, most people aren't doing until they're in their mid-30s, 40s, right? As far as, like, if you were to go online and look at most chefs in the league, look at how old they are. They're like most times 10 plus years older than me. So I'm looking at, like, what I'm going to be doing in 2-3 years, and how can I plan and how can I network now while I'm with the Sixers to put myself in the best position to get there and to maximize on those opportunities, right? And that's the big thing about career growth. I think that's the reason why I got to where I'm at so young, because while I was in college, I told everybody, I was like, network. I was networking everybody. I was meeting everybody. Even through my brother and his basketball, meeting everyone.
Shout out C1, man.
Shout out C1, man. That's
awesome.
my dog. You want to talk about preparation?
Boy.
That kid.
I gotta get to a game.
You got to get to a game. We
bro.
play St. Joe's in town. It's on February 10th. February 10th. We'll play him that morning.
Okay.
But that guy, when you talk about a guy that prepares, a guy that knew, I'm going into college. I'm going in undersized. How do I get stronger the year before? How do I go into college as the smartest player on the floor? And now he's seeing crazy minutes, and he's gonna have great success. I owe so much to that kid. Like, I mean, he's a young man now, but I owe so much to him, because, like, the work that he put in over the last 19 years of his life to get where he's at, where he's not supposed to be. Is crazy. No one's supposed to. You're talking about an under 1% chance of going D1, and to do it at a high level, and to be so poised, and to be National Honor Society, and to be that guy, and to be prom king or whatever. It's inspiring. It's like, look at this kid, like, just going after it all. And he's gonna do well, like, on the court and in business. Kids in the top 100 business school.
Man, for those that don't know, we're talking about his little brother right here. He's a point guard at
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
He's the reason why I'm where I'm at.
That's
like, you want to talk about planning and prepping, like, through him, for real, is how I got to the Sixers. Before all this, like, sports stuff, I planned on going to R&D. That's why I was at McCormick Spice in my internship. I planned on going to R&D and developing products. And I went to one of his practices when I was home on I think it was during a summer break. And, as you know, that Camden team was loaded. So people don't realize the networking that was around that team, when you have 7 or 8 Division I players on a team, is crazy. I bumped into a guy, and he told me he was going to change my life. Wow. And a week later, he really did. And I went through the course of that relationship, and I learned so much. And I failed many times in that relationship. And I just, let one thing lead to another, and it ended up with me cooking for tons of NBA players and execs. It ended up with me, working. It was during COVID. I was like 20. No, it was 2021, something like that. Right. And I'm like doing work for a guy now who's about to become an NBA All-Star, and he's dropping 50 at MSG. And I'm like, and now I look, and even with that business transaction, did I do everything well? And did I do things how 24-year-old Brandon would? No. But did I learn a hell of a lot? Yeah. And did that guy change my life? Absolutely. Man. But at the end of the day, it all goes back to Sion. Being there and being in that place and allowing me to be a crucial and critical part of his career and his journey and his growth. It's been nothing but a blessing to me, and something that I don't take for granted. Like, my relationship with him and where we're going to take this is going to be insane. Like, I hope, I know he's going to be a pro somewhere, whether it's in the U.S., in the league, in our league, in the NBA, or whether it's overseas. And I can't wait to share so much knowledge that, I've learned over the last few years about the politics of the league, how the league works, the structure of the league, team, business, food, nutrition, strength, everything, with him, because, he is really the reason why, I've had so much success in my career at this point.
That's dope, man.
That's awesome. And you touched a little bit on the fact that you have been around so many people that with, like, a lot of
High profile.
high profile, large platforms, stuff like that. Has there ever been a time where you've kind of been like starstruck like by somebody?
I don't get, I mean, certainly not anymore because I've just seen so much. I don't get very starstruck. I think last season I was starstruck one time when I saw Adam Silver. I saw the commissioner. It was on Joel's MVP night. We were in like the player lounge, and before, now we have our own player lounge at Wells, but before it was a player lounge and the owner's lounge, like the kind of VIP lounge. And he was in there before tip-off, and I seen him, and I think it got me because I remember watching Adam Silver when he was doing round 2 of the draft behind David Stern before he was even the commissioner when I was a young bull.
Right.
And then to see him transition into the commissioner and to see him on like video games and stuff, and then to see him in real life, like, whoa, what the heck? That's Adam Silver. I'll say another time I've been starstruck was, I kind of have to backstory to this. My grandma remarried, and her husband's nephew played for the Cavs, won a ring with LeBron. And I was in like 7th or 8th grade. We're down in the family room, and if you guys remember, Tristan Thompson was on that team.
Yeah.
Comes with Tristan at the time comes the Kardashians. Kim Kardashian. I'm like 7th, 8th grade. I'm like, yo, what the heck? I think now if I saw Kim Kardashian, I was like, that was starstruck.
That is
And this is the night
Yeah, that's
LeBron,
crazy.
they got their rings.
Rings,
We were in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And I think it's called what? Rocket Mortgage. I don't know what the arena's called.
Yeah.
But
It was Quicken Loans. I think
Quicken Loans. I think it's Rocket Mortgage.
It's like
though.
Rocket Mortgage.
I
It's
could be
Rocket
wrong.
Mortgage. No, it is.
And bro, it was insane. I'm like, yo, that's Kim K. Chloe was with her and all. And because he was dating Chloe or married or whatever it was. And yeah, but now I don't get very starstruck. I see people all the time. I think it's really, really cool. But I don't. I think when you see James Harden on almost a daily basis and Joel Embiid, I think you get very used to being around high profile people. Like, people don't understand with me, like, I'm not the guy, and I think that's why I've also done so well and been allowed in so many spaces. I don't ask people for pictures. If you with me at the games, you know.
Oh,
Don't
know.
ask nobody for no
Nobody.
picture because you're with
Nobody.
me. And I don't want to be. We are not fans.
Right.
We are not fanboys.
Right.
You know, I don't do the pictures. I don't really go up to folks or anything. I'm like super chill. I'm just kind of existing. Right. I'm literally hiding in plain sight.
Yeah.
That's something I do really, really well. So getting starstruck at this point, nah. Can't think of a time. I did see LeBron. Sion was playing at Peach Jam 2 summers ago in Georgia, and like Wag was sitting in front of me.
Oh, I was about to say.
Wag, D-Wag,
Yeah,
Big
I was about to
Wag.
say, yeah, Big Wag. Oh, yeah.
He's sitting
So
in
shout
front
out
of
to
me.
him.
Shout out to
Shout
Big Wag.
out to
Wag.
Shout out to Wag.
Wag
yeah.
is my Wag, like Big Wag, but little.
Yeah, no, shout out to
no,
Wag.
not Little Wag, because even DJ now, that's Big Wag.
Yeah, he's Big
I,
Wag.
I respect the game
Respect.
because DJ's done a lot, and he's opened a lot of doors, and he's given back to a lot of people in his city. But yeah, Bron walks up, daps up Big Wag. Mind you, I'd seen Bron play a few times at this point. I'd been working in the league for 2 years at this point. And I'm looking, I'm like, yo, like Bron's really here. But to see him in such a chill dad space,
Right, dad vibe.
it was just great. And then I was a little starstruck. And to see those two kind of just embrace each other and Bron show so much love to everybody was great.
Yeah. No, that's dope, man. And I think that good part about starstruck, I think Chooch, you probably can relate to us too, obviously being a professional athlete. Is there anybody that you've seen on the MLB circuit, or even just the doors that the MLB has opened for you, that has gotten you starstruck so far?
I'll say this. I'm kind of in the same boat with you. The one thing that I'm grateful for is that I've always kind of been in their shoes in a certain sense.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I'm not out here making $30 million a
You
year.
will be very soon, though.
But,
You will be very soon.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm living the life that they have lived.
Yeah.
And I know what they go through, and I know that they're just human. So granted, there will be big names that walk by, and you're like, I might want to watch him a little more. Like when Chris Sale throws a bullpen, I'm going to sit there and watch a couple pitches.
Yeah, right.
But at the end of the day, like that same guy, I got to spend a bunch of time with, and he's just a normal dude. Like Chris Sale walks into the facility. By the way, shout out him. Thank you for all your time in Boston. Good luck with the Braves. We appreciate you. But yeah, that guy walks into the stadium with a bag of T-shirt and Crocs on. And I'm just like, but I'll say this, not even pertaining to sports. When I got to see Drake in concert, and he walked out of the down the stairs of right where I was.
Nah. When I saw that's cool.
Yeah.
When I saw Drake at Wells last year,
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was at Wells,
I
bro.
was moved,
bro.
It was like that.
He's incredible.
Drake.
He doesn't
bro.
seem like, that's the thing to me too, is like I've been such a big fan of him for so long. He didn't seem real to me
No, he
until he
didn't.
walked out, and I'm like,
100%.
that's really
right.
him. That's
Yeah.
really him.
He went nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Best-
amazing.
that's still the
live.
best
Who did he walk out with?
Best
For your show.
Best concert I've seen.
21. He was with 21.
He
at my
walked
show.
out with Gillian Wallow.
Oh wow.
And this is right after Gilly lost his son.
Right.
And they had him on the screen, bro. Mind you, I'm lit. Yachty just got off the stage. Bro, pull me back. Like, I'm like, damn, this is the moment. And this is a Philly moment because I'm a local guy. So for me, it really touched me because it was Drake, it was Gilly, it was Wallow. I love them. I love seeing the growth of their pod and their content and everything they're doing business-wise. So, like,
Absolutely.
to see them all together in that moment, a moment that I had my Drake September suite. We had bought that in, like, May or April when he released it. Like, I was
Right
waiting,
away.
bro, because I knew this is my guy. I got to see him.
Are you talking about Wells this past year, like
Yes.
2023? Okay, I was there too. Might have
Yes.
been another night, but he walked out with Meek, and then and it was so cool because
You might have been night one.
Yeah, the Meek and Drake beef was going on. Like, right? How old were we? We were like,
We were in high school.
yeah, we were juniors, so we were like big into this.
Yeah, yeah.
And he comes out and he shouts out Meek, and he says how, like, even though you go through like troubles with friends and stuff like that, at the end it's all love. And bro, like, my childhood self inside me was just like, that was amazing. That was beautiful.
But we can take a lot from that, right?
Yeah.
You gotta learn how to forgive.
Yeah, right,
I've been through stuff with my friend. I went through stuff with my childhood best friend. My best friend, we didn't talk for a year. And I had to, it was until he was ready to have his son and have his son ready to have his baby shower. And I knew I wanted to be a part of that kid's life because I knew, you know, I'm not having a kid anytime soon. I don't plan on it. But I knew I wanted to give so much to him because his dad had been such a friend for me so long where I had to chalk and say, look, bro, like, life is way too short for me to have beef with someone that I love. One of my guys that I love this much. And that's what I love the Drake and Meek thing because it taught us forgiveness.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
100%.
And like those two together are way more powerful than they are apart.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely, bro.
Absolutely. Like on Rico.
Yeah.
Like,
Anyway.
Yeah. No, but just think about it. Going back to, you know, like, you started the pod out saying you were really saying cooking is a science, right? And I think I want you to talk more in depth about how cooking is such a science, because I think a lot of people see cooking, you either read from a recipe or go from there. So I think people really want to know how much detail you really take into cooking, into the preparation of cooking. So talk a little bit about how much cooking is such a science too.
So I actually studied culinary science. That's what my bachelor's is in. We studied chemistry, biology, all of that, right? I'd say cooking is mostly chem. It's mostly chemistry, right? And you got to think that cooking, especially in baking too, these are systems that you're working within, right? So if you can understand how those systems function, you can use those systems to you can manipulate those systems to work for you. And that means it can save you money, it can give you a better product, it can help you train folks, because before chefs had an understanding of how science kind of worked and what was going on, it became very difficult to control variables. But if you understand the science and what's actually happening, you can control what's going on in your kitchen, and you can create more consistent recipes. So like even with the Sixers, like we have all of our recipes on a database. And we're following things about 95% to a T of what that recipe is, and then you have that 5% of feel that you're cooking with. But science to me is super, super important. Right. And when I eventually own a restaurant, it's gonna be a foundation of my learnings and my teachings. You know, is the science behind this, and you truly understand what's going on. Because if I can get you as one of my employees and one of the chefs working in my kitchen to understand what's going on, I know you're going to produce, like I said, better quality food, but you're also going to save me a lot of money.
And make you safe.
Yes,
that's deep.
and make me a lot of money.
That's awesome,
That's
man.
deep. Yeah.
Well, hey, I wanted to ask this, not to switch it up too much,
Yeah.
but you got the breads on.
Yeah.
We're all big fans of kicks.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, obviously, basketball players, a lot of what they show off goes into the kicks, like when they come out each day. So what are some of the coolest kicks that you've seen? Who are some of the coolest guys you've been around that have had some of the coolest collections, stuff like that?
PJ for sure was crazy.
Yeah, PJ's top dog. No doubt.
PJ was crazy, but I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
PJ was dope. Now I think the kicks that I see are like Kenyon Martin Jr.
Oh, yeah.
He'll have on like he'll have on KJ will have on like old D roses. From when I was in middle school, he'll have on like super old D roses. I love, although he's not on our team, I love what D Book is kind of doing right now with his P's.
Oh, I like them.
I like those.
Dunks a little bit. Low.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love those shoes.
I like those too.
I think
Those
he
are
like
hard.
kind of designed it after a little bit so that he could imprint those like kind of legendary colorways
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
It
it's
just
nice.
reads so him. I absolutely love it. Paul, I've actually seen like Paul Reed pop out with a few kicks from time to time. I'm like, damn, I didn't know you had those. And then we have an assistant coach, Bobby Jackson, who used to be in the league, and he came in the first day he toured the facility with some Travs on. Oh, wow. So it's really cool. Okay. Some of my favorite sneakers that I have myself are my Travs. I have the fragments, and then I have the olives, and I run my olives into the ground. Like my olive Travs, like that's typically what I wear to games, like to work in. Yeah. On game nights. They're just super cozy, they're versatile, and they're very low key. Right. My breads that I have on now, I think these are, I don't care what anyone says, I think these are the greatest shoes of all time.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
bro, I'll throw my bread fours on.
Absolutely.
They be chilling.
Absolutely.
They go well. Bread fours, my wave runners. Love Kanye. I got mad love for Kanye. I don't care what anybody says. He's a hell of a creative and a designer and a visionary. What else are some of my favorite shoes? Oh it's a designer shoe, but I have like the Gucci's with the little snake on them. It's just such a classic comp shoes.
Clean.
Super clean. And then my last one I'd say are my reimagined ones. Ooh. Yeah, the red ones. I'm a simple guy, bro. Yeah. And then like my Soleil Bomberry Crocs. I'm a Croc guy.
Oh, you a Croc guy? Shout out to the Crocs. Yeah, shout out to
and
the Croc
Birks.
guys.
And Birks. The Birks are fire too.
Birks are nice. Very comfy.
Yeah.
You hear that, Adam, right?
Trust me, I do hear it. I'm not gonna get into it, man, because like, if you can put it on, I can respect it. I just personally don't have any pair, and I think buying a pair.
If you got you some Birks, bro, like that's a great cozy vibe.
Oh no, I've seen outfits where I'm like, that's put together well. It's put together well, so I gotta respect it. I'll definitely respect the game, so it's all good, bro.
Yes.
Were you ever around Langston Galloway in your years there? No. Okay. He goes. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Crazy Snake.
My cousin Michael Siegel. Shout out.
Shout
really
Mike.
Great dude. Great dude.
Mike.
He's a sports agent and he reps Lang. And yeah, when Lang was in Philly, I remember I got to see his sneaker collection once, and it was like there was like over 200 pairs of sneakers.
Yeah. A lot of those guys you got to think, if you're an NBA player and you're signed to Nike, right? Like you might get a credit per season of thousands of dollars. Like I'm talking 10, 15, maybe 20, depending on how much they prioritize you, how big your brand is and your name is. It could be 150, it could be unlimited on your account. So they're getting all the sneaks, and they're getting stuff like that'll be on their account that like you can't buy on the regular Nike store. You can't buy on the regular Nike store. So like their bag is just like crazy just because they have a competitive advantage over all of us. You know, Grinches come out, or what were the red Kobe's that came out a few weeks ago? They can get them. Right. You know, it's very. There is no sneakers. There is no you won, you lost. It's I'm on this Nike store, and I'm purchasing what I would like.
A whole different world.
That's dope, bro.
Totally different world.
I think honestly, I think we have one more question really, but I kind of want to make it a two-part question. Given in the NBA is very common of doing, two-way contracts, 10-day contracts, guys that are, trying to fight for a spot, trying to get there, like, hey, I got to work really hard this day to hopefully get to the next day, right? And I think in your profession as well, you kind of say the same thing, right? Showing up every day, getting better. So the two-part question would be has there been a day so far that you felt any type of, adversity, or have you faced any adversity in your journey so far from growing up, from starting to cook to obviously getting to college to now, where it's maybe possibly even close to not derailed your career, but maybe have set you back more than you like? And with that same token is, how do you continue to show up every day and be better and better?
Yeah, man. I definitely say in school it was tough. Like I said, like I'm straightforward and I'm honest, because when you accomplish things, you should like tell people what you've done. Went to the best culinary school in the entire world, and that came with like a lot of challenges, and it came with a lot of humble moments. I'm in my first course, my fundies class. My chef was tough, man, and it was a lot that I had to learn about myself. I had to really buck up and be a strong young man, and really kind of figure out how I was going to succeed, how I was going to prepare myself to gain a competitive advantage over, the work that I had coming at me. And that kind of helped me prepare for my career. I think when I got to the Sixers, the biggest thing that I realized is that I wasn't the guy that I thought I was. And that my bag wasn't as deep as I thought it was. And over the last 3 seasons, it's gotten deeper, and I've learned more, and I've gotten better with technique and different things. And then also but I think the most adversity I've faced there was just being a pro. Right, and that's something every young professional is going to face. There was no 21-year-old chef that you're going to throw in that position that I was put in, and I don't even know if there ever has been anyone put in that position at that age, at that level, with that much at stake, and not make mistakes professionally, right? Where you really have to learn how you want to carry yourself, how you want your brand to kind of look and be viewed by the people that you work with and people outside. So for me, the last 3 years has just been growing as a pro and really being that pro, because there's going to come a day very, very soon where I'm running my own MBA program, and I've got to, find ways to help this program grow and help chefs in the league and culinary staff in the league, continue to make strides, to, I guess, grow our departments, and gain more.
That's beautiful, man.
I got one last question for the pod, right? And I want you to think about this. Who would you like to make a meal for, past or present? Any one of your meals, who would that be? And what meal would you make for that person?
It would be my grandfather. And my goal one of my long-term goals is to start a restaurant group, and then from there do consulting through my group. But one day it will happen, and you guys will be there on opening night.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to open a glass restaurant in Camden, on the waterfront.
Ooh.
Me working now in Camden at an MBA facility. Our facility, people don't realize, is in Camden. It's on the waterfront.
Right.
And where my grandfather cooked in that city. My parents grew up, and my grandfather cooked in cities in that bar and whatnot. To be in the position that I'm in, one of 3 chefs for this MBA team in Camden, means the world to me. And it's something that there are nights where I'm laying in my bed and I think about, and when I say I don't take anything for granted, I really don't. That's why I show love the way I do. Right. But to be in Camden and to work in Camden means so much. And before I go anywhere and open a restaurant or do anything, it's going to be done in Camden. I'm not from Camden, but it's going to be done in Camden, on that waterfront, all glass, valet, the culture everywhere, fine dining, crazy vibe, city view. And I can never make it happen, but if I could have my grandfather eat in that restaurant that I know is going to go crazy and be one of the coolest things that this area has ever seen when it happens, would mean the world to me. So,
That's tough,
I'm talking the full menu for this guy. Go crazy.
Okay.
Send everything.
But
I'm telling you guys, it's going to happen. We're going to have a beautiful, beautiful restaurant, beautiful building. And, I think that's really when, I'm going to be I arrived. When I have my own building on that waterfront, and help to change the landscape of that city, that's when my impact on the world and my impact, that I think that's when, this skill that I have and this talent that I have is really going to impact the world, and inspire so many people, because people have watched my journey. But I think it's all culminating into that. And I'm going to do things above that. Right. I'm so young. I have so much life to live. But that is I think that's going to be my moment, when LeBron won his first ring. Or when he went back to Cleveland and won it. That's going to be that moment.
That's I'm here.
Camden.
This
is for you.
Why be? I've never been typical or ordinary. Why be the guy that goes to Philly? As much as I love Philly or New York or DC or LA and opens a restaurant there, that ain't me. That's not Brandon. Right. Brandon is we on the waterfront in Camden, and I got the flyest black, white, Spanish, Asian, male, female people pulling up, and they're eating on the waterfront in a glass in a restaurant with tons of glass, beautiful architecture. I can see it already.
tough,
you know,
bro.
named after my family. How beautiful would that be? You know,
amazing,
and
man.
that's what we're gonna get.
Awesome.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. So
tough, yeah.
wow. I mean, I just wanted to let that sink in for a
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
That's a
We're
beautiful
We're gonna make
thing,
it. We're
man.
gonna find a way to
Tough.
make it.
That
happen.
mindset.
I figured everything. I figured things out so far. So it's gonna happen. This is something that I've for the last year and a half I've been cooking.
We can't wait to see it, bro.
Nah, for real, yeah. Nah,
You guys will be there?
Yeah, we're excited. Nah, we're excited for you.
So to kind of wrap up here, I mean, we named this episode "Respect the Game." So to kind of go around to the group, we just want to know, what does that mean to you?
It's something I say often. It's something I think about often, and it helps me check myself in certain situations. Respecting the game is respecting the work that people have put in, where people are, whether you agree with or like how they got there. You may think, oh, this person is only in this position because of X, Y, and Z. And also respecting folks' network too, you know, and respecting, but I would say that's the key right there, right? Respecting the work that people have put in to build their network and to build their brand of where they are. I think a lot of people in life we've gotten to a point now where people want handouts and they don't want to respect the work of the folks in front of them. And you have to realize that life is a hierarchy and life is political. And you have to respect that political game. That's one of the greatest things my mom taught me, whether it be in corporate or in business. You have to respect that political game, and you have to find ways to make gains. And you need to sit back sometimes, which I have to do a lot of times, and watch, like I said, those 40-year-old mentors, people that are in senior positions. What are they doing? Because they're playing a game to get where they're at. Nobody ended up anywhere by mistake. People are in the positions they are in because they've gone through the necessary steps. So as a young person or a middle-aged person, wherever you are, you need to respect the game and respect the work they put in. And the last thing I'll say is even older people. This is to older people.
Yo, you gotta say that again.
This is
For
the older
for
people.
real.
Yeah, right, so
Y'all
real.
have to respect the game.
Yeah.
Y'all have to learn to respect the
real.
game that a lot of us young people and young professionals have put in. We put in the work. We put in the time. We went to school. We got our experience. Respect the game and give us the positions and the titles that we deserve. It's not about age or nothing. And respect that we are going to make the mistakes. Absolutely. But that 25-year-old, though, is going to make the same mistakes that 35-year-old is going to make in that position. So why not take a chance to help groom that professional and help that person be extraordinary? Because that's what the Sixers did for me. They took a chance on me, and I've done a gazillion amazing things for that organization, but I've also made a few mistakes, like everyone else that works there. 100%. But I feel like at this point they've respected the work that I put in, and they've rewarded me with plenty of things. My boss, like Eli Collins, shout out to Eli. Thank you so much for all that you've done for me in my career so far. He's respected my background, my learning. He's respected that I'm not perfect. He's respected that there are some things that I do really well, right? And Julie too. And they've helped me grow and given me the space and the grace to become the young professional that I am now. And I owe that to them. And I in return, I respect what they've done in their careers and why they're at where they're at. We have very different backgrounds and upbringings, but I respect how they've gotten to their positions.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
For me, I would say, kind of a piece of that. It's about accountability, right?
Yeah.
Accountability to yourself and to others. At the same time, especially a lot of times you'll hear coaches or, hear players say, what you give to this game will give back to you.
Give back to you, 100%.
And I think that's kind of how I try to live a life and try to live in all my relationships, all my business ventures, and how I hold myself. As much as I'm giving to my body, as much as I'm giving to my mind, to my soul, giving to my family, giving to my friends, they're going to give back to me. I hope, Lord willing, to give back to me. If not, it's fine. Still got to respect it, right? So for me personally, that's how I want to try to think about respect the game.
I love that.
Accountability.
Yeah. Do you want to go?
Yeah, for me personally, it's always like I think about respect the game is like in any state we're in our professional and our personal life, we always got to think about the next person in front of us, right? So when I think about this, it's always about in order to be successful, you got to be willing to make failure too, have failure, right? So I think in order, like I was just listening, like I told you guys earlier before we started, I was listening to Meek's song, right? Meek Mill's song, Respect the Game. And like the whole reason why he talked about that song was really to talk about and portray all the stuff he went through in the industry, right? And how he got to this point that he got there now, right? So like you guys gotta understand, like everyone, like you said, everyone's positions are all in different situations, and we're all in different scenarios, right? But no matter what, you got to respect the game and have the work ethic they put in there, because there was a lot more failures that was there before they got to be this successful.
100%.
So like, I think for me, it's always got to be, for one, is like be willing to be comfortable taking failures, but not learn, but just learning from the failures, and then how do we become successful from those failures, right? So like, that's why I think respect the game comes from me as well too. So
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. I think the way I look at it is we're all kind of playing the game of life here. We're all playing the game of life. Anybody who's watching, and respecting the game is respecting the fact that the game isn't going to go how you plan it. It's not gonna always be fair, and that's okay. Because and like a lot of the reason I love baseball so much is because it reflects life. Just because you have a bad inning doesn't mean the game's over. Right. Just because you have one bad game or one bad day doesn't mean the next day's over. It doesn't mean you're done. And I just love that so much, because at the end of the day, life's going to throw a lot at you. It's going to throw different things at you, but life's never going to tell you to quit. Life can't tell you to quit. Life can't force you to quit. Only you can do that. So at the end of the day, it's just one day, you know? So, I mean, that's just me. To wrap it up, we just want to thank all y'all for coming on. We want to thank Brandon for coming on. Absolutely.
This is amazing.
This was dope, bro.
Keep going with the pod, man.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, keep going and keep getting great guests, interesting people, and you know, carving out spaces to have great conversations.
Awesome. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, we will.
And we appreciate you, man. And we'll see y'all next time. Appreciate you.
Y'all be blessed.
Yeah.